Hey guys, so welcome back to another episode for Skank Planet with your host, Skylar Rose. Today, I guess, what do I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about, mm, let's see, I had so much in my mind and my brain is like on E right now, and it's like I can't figure out what I want to talk about. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Right. So, natural or unnatural looks. What's the go-to for a gal? Like, what should girls do? Right? I feel like recently my biggest problem I brought to my friend, which is my bestie. I told her that every time I be outside, I always get like a guy who consistently is just like he is mad old, like maybe like 40 years old. Like it's always men that's like above 30 for sure. And they have an interest in me. And it just bugs me because I see men around like my own age and it's like they don't tend to have like an interest in me. Like sometimes I wonder like am I doing things right or am I doing things wrong? Because my friend told me, girl, you need to try makeup and you need to try the whole, you need to read a whole book on the bad bitch aesthetic. And I'm just like, the fuck does that mean? Like, the fuck, like, I'm like, what does that mean? She's like, well, you gotta do some makeup first. Now, your girl is a makeup galley. Like, of course, I do like some styles of makeup. I'm known for, going into the pretty princess look, goth look, soft boy era. Look, I could do it all. You know what I'm saying? There's very few big pieces of makeup that I haven't really touched. And what I mean by that is just general shit. Like I've used blush, I've used eyeliner, I've used mascara, I've used um, everything, eyeshadow, foundation, concealer, bronzer. I've been around the block 1,000 times with these, and I'm professionally good at it. At least I think I am. Not too sure how I feel about it though, because she was like, I should do makeup, and I'm like, is makeup really like the thing is like I don't mind getting up in the morning and like do my eyebrows, do my makeup, but I'm just like I don't want to look fake. That's my biggest problem. It's like I feel like if I have to dress in makeup, I feel like if I have to alter my whole face and give this like soft bitch look, I feel like yeah, I'm gonna get some serious dick down, but at the same time, I'm just like, I mean, this serious dick down is not really worth it if I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I don't know, like if I'm sitting there and I'm just like, he only likes me because of how I look with my makeup. Like, I prefer a guy to be interested in me for my looks, but also for who I am as a person. Like, I feel like if with makeup, I'm running the risk of him possibly just having interest in just like what I look like and not necessarily like who I naturally am, like what I naturally look like without makeup. Like, do you think that's cute? Because guess what, bitch? When we're in bed together and you wake up in the morning, when I look over, nigga, that's what you're seeing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's I was just thinking about that. So I kind of was like, yes with her, but I feel like no. I feel like I'm not going to do too much makeup. Hairstyle, she said I need to watch more hairstyle videos. I feel like that's true. I feel like the one reason why a lot of men are around our age groups don't really like find us attractive. I feel like one is like really like hair. For instance, like I do a lot of like childish hairstyles because I just find them fun and also they're easier to do. I feel like a lot of more mature um, hairstyles, for sure, are a little bit much more time consuming and definitely are, as they say, high maintenance. And sometimes can be expensive depending on what you're looking for, especially if you're going down the rabbit hole of like box braids, um, extensions, or having like your hair like having like wigs installed as well. Like that just all becomes a very expensive process. So it's like that's also something I've noticed. Like I look at like for instance, like I don't go out often and I'm not too sure where people my age really do quote unquote hang out. Let's just be honest. Like listen, I'm my people's age and I really don't really know like where these people be going at. Let's just be real with it. And it's like, so I really look in basic areas when I want to see people my age and I want to just kind of get a sense. So when I look at some of my fellow galleys and I look at them, it's like, how do they dress? You know, some do like a cashmere sweater kind of throwover with like a subtle t-shirt and some tights, maybe some black pants. You know, I've seen some do some like sweats. I've seen regular t-shirts and jeans. I don't see anything that's like flamboyant, which I'm starting to realize that maybe men are more attracted to simplicity, because the more simplistic but chic a style looks, in my opinion, makes it or less overshadow you overall. Like for instance, right? Of where I wear an outfit that had like 1,000 like flowers and fucking wings everywhere, and I look like a damn archangel or some shit walking on the street, people would less likely look at my face and be more attracted to my outfit. But if I wear like a nice tracksuit, like a nice little top and some pants, and like and I leave my face natural, the tracksuit itself is sleek, it's fashionable, but it's calm, it's humble, it's simplistic. And with that in mind, also means, people are more likely to associate this chic, simplistic look with as well as creating a collaboration with my face. So I feel like I dress too flamboyantly, and I think that's the problem. I think sometimes I speak too much. You know, my dad used to say all the time is that anytime I dyed my hair, he used to be like, "Why do you always have to pick colors that are just like speaking to the general public?" And what he meant by that is like, some people might pick generalistic colors like maybe blonde or like brown or black, and here I am picking neon yellow in my fucking hair. Oh my god, not me coughing. But yes, I would pick things like neon yellow and shit. And I think to myself, like, neon yellow is flamboyant. It speaks to people. And it's like, it's very out there, and men might not be interested in that. They might just be interested into the subtle look. So what does that subtle look mean to you, right? Like now that I have an answer, right? I have an answer about how I want to look, what I need to look like. But the question is, how do we create this intervention, right? Because it's so easy to sit there and be like, great, I got it. I need to dress simplistically. Honey, any aesthetic can be broken down into a simplistic mannerism. What's your style? And for me, I like a nerdy, chic, business kind of look. So what that means is I want like a nerdy look, but I want it to be sexy and chic. So all that basically means is that I want it to look very like not excessively formal, like casually formal. You know what I'm saying? Like a nice blouse and some jeans. So it gives like intuition. It gives a speak of like nerdy, but it's also very bold. It's very business-like. It's very straight to the point. And that's something I kind of realized I like to go for, because a lot of times when I dress very like flamboyantly gay, you know what I'm saying, like titties out and shit, it's just like, I feel like, one, you're intimidating men. Like that's one of the biggest things I think out there that we don't realize, is you don't really want to intimidate your potential suitors, right? Because let's be honest, right? Like if you look at a guy, like let's say you, right, you're looking for a guy, like, and you look at him, do you really want like Tom Cruise or like The Rock? Like, yeah, they're hot. Yeah, like I probably want them to top me, but they're intimidating, right? Because of their social status or maybe how they look. Like, you don't want to scare your potential love away because of their status, because of how they look, just their body alone makes you feel like inadequate, and it also makes you feel like you don't want to like go up to them, right? And I think like in a respectable sense, like that's something that can happen, right? So that's why for me, I think that the best answer is be subtle, bold, but don't scare people away. Like a good example, right, is like on Reddit, on this subreddit, right, for like, I think it's like r/trans. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the shit that's going down, unfortunately. Um, it's basically, there was a picture of this trans girl, MTF, by the way. She says she was like, I'm trying to get a boyfriend, but every time I go to a bar, I go to a place, men are like, they don't hit me up. Like, they always like, I always talk to guys, but no one really makes a move. Like, they're very flirtatious with me, but that's it. And she sent a picture of herself, and we immediately, people in the chat were like, girl, it's not because men don't want you, it's because you look very beautiful and you're intimidating. You're making men feel like you're out of their league, basically. And that's something I want to think about. I think, yeah, like, while that kind of is probably messed up in some shape or form, I feel like it's not surprising, though. Like, men sometimes might feel intimidated by you. And I think that you want to make it easy, right? Like, if you had to pick a dinner, are you going to pick a meal that has like 5 steaks, 60 scoops of mashed potatoes, and gravy on top and cheese? Probably not, because the meal sounds intimidating. What if I said I'll get you a bowl of macaroni and cheese, a side of baked chicken, barbecue baked chicken, and I don't know, a cup of apple juice? Like, to me, that sounds reasonable, right? And so someone would more likely want to have that as a dinner than they would probably want to have like anything else, right? That's where my mind is at when I'm thinking about this. I don't know. So it's like, I realize I need to look subtle, but it needs to be cute. You know, it needs to speak volume. That's what it is. So you need to look for the aesthetic that you're into. Find a way to make it look like aesthetically like simplistic, and at the same token, make it bold. Make that final stroke bold. You know, for instance, if you have a soft boy look, which is like a nice little pastel oversized sweater with some jeans or sweatpants, make it simplistic. So don't wear like a bandana that's like fucking pastel. You got pastel color bracelets, pastel color like hair. Like, you're taking it too far. Make it just simplistic. Oversized pastel sweater, oversized pastel sweatpants. Good. And you can make it bold, right? So how can you make it bold? Maybe you could put an undershirt with the sweater to make it look like more of a nerdy look. Maybe you could do like a hat to give yourself a little bit more style, more chic. You know what I'm saying? Maybe make yourself look more mature with the look. What are some things that you can do to really make it bold despite being simplistic? Which I think is something that a lot of us have to think about when we do this whole idea of doing our hair, right? Or trying to attract a guy. Um, so what else? What else is a good segment here? Um, are we not going to talk about today's society and sex and relationships? You know, it's so unbelievable to me nowadays that no one is looking for a relationship. Every time someone dates you, I think that once they feel like they put a title on you, like they call you a girlfriend or a boyfriend, that they feel like it's some sort of like free route to just having sex. Like, oh, now I can officially have sex with this person without it being weird or socially unacceptable, right? Like, to me, I have so many people that say that they're looking for relationships, but a lot of times they end up dating a guy. They ended up like, they end up being a thing, and it's like, then they end up having sex very early on, like in the first 2 weeks of just now saying they're dating each other. And then they wonder why the relationship goes sideways, because the person typically just really didn't want a relationship. They wanted to have sex with you. But they knew the only way to get that you to have sex with them was to make you believe that they were in a relationship with you, basically easing you into the idea. Once they got what they needed out of you, there's no need to be in a relationship with you. There's no need to forge anything with you. I think that's a huge problem in today's society, that hookup culture has become less of a subtle thing and has become more and more prevalent. Like, relationships should be being pursued. You know, getting to know someone who gets to know you, getting to learn different things you like, you don't like, you know? Like, sex should be on the back of your mind. Like, you should be thinking about how we can hang out. What can we talk about? What online games we could play together? Like, do you like Roblox? I like Roblox too. Like, what are some things we can do to kind of make a meaningful time? Like, when you meet them, it shouldn't be about sex, 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 and sex. It really shouldn't be about every day you're just having sex. It should really be about, how can I get to know you? What about you interests me? You know? I think sometimes another problem I have is sometimes men try to like hit on you without realizing that they ain't shit. Like, me and my friend was talking about this whole idea of high value and low value men, right? And this might look different for everyone. So I'm just gonna talk on for myself. And I'll say, like, in my mind, a high value man is someone who, in my opinion, has a great personality, has an interest in having a career, is going to school. First and foremost, you need to be in college. I don't do this, oh, school just wasn't for me. It just means you're an idiot, you just wasted time, and you just want to sit home and scratch your balls. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear no fucking excuses. Unless you got some kind of financial reason or a serious family reason that you're not in school, I don't really want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? I also like to have a guy who's like highly financial, someone who has good financial status, like is thinking about saving their money, like wants to buy a house when they finish school, have their own apartment, pay rent, you know? Some of just the basic things. Because to me, I like a guy who can save money, because it lets me know in the future that when we have money or we have a joint account, you're going to be money mindful. You're not just going to sit there and just spend money flamboyantly, and then when the bills come, we're asking where money's coming for bills. You know what I'm saying? I also like a guy who's emotionally and mentally stable. Like, for me, I'm on meds for my mental stress. And while I don't want a pity party, I don't want you to bring me your mental concerns. I don't want to hear, oh, my parrot died and now I'm cutting myself. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. You know, keep that shit to yourself. Get yourself help. I'm not your therapist. I'm your lover. Get yourself a therapist. Get medicated and get it under control. I'm not saying I don't want to hear about your issues. Like, if you want to share an intimate part about yourself, that's fine. But I'm not going to play the role of your therapist. I'm playing the role as your partner, your lover. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't want to deal with trauma dumping. I feel like that's a lot of big mistakes a lot of people make when they date someone, is that they start telling them all about the pains and struggles they've gone through. And they start oversharing. They start having, which again, like my last podcast we talked about, we start going down this like rabbit hole of being overly porous in our boundaries, and we start to kind of intimidate people. People might not be interested anymore. They're gonna be like, nah, like, you're talking too much. Like, this is too much for me. And they'll back off a little bit. And then you're gonna wonder why they no longer want to be in a relationship with you too. So that's something I found interesting. Heard recently, so I used to watch this YouTuber, by the way. His name is like Horse Meat or something, and he posted this video about something about a porn plot. A porn plot that is so bad that it makes you want to stop beating your meat. And I thought, like, damn, like, what could it be? Like, did you watch like a porn video that was like, I don't know, about blood or something? Like, was she like on her period or something and he went full Dracula or something? Like, what could you possibly have seen to make you, like, I don't know, feel sad or something? Right. So I'm wondering to myself, like, what exactly happened in this video for you to like stop like doing what you was doing? So he was just like some shit about, apparently, so this, like, okay, so there was plot, right? Like, a lot of plot, right? So in this video, right, like, and I have no idea, like, apparently, like, this guy and his dad, like his mom passed away a long time ago, and apparently like the dad got remarried, and like this is like a whole story that gets put like in the entire plot, really. So like for the first 4 minutes, it's nothing about like it's all about like the the son basically with the stepmom, and the stepmom's basically in his room just telling him like, oh, I'm gonna be your stepmom, and I heard your mother passed away, and I'm really sorry to hear that, and I'm trying to like, I guess, I don't know, help your father through the process or something. And I'm just like, when I heard the video, I'm just like, for 4 minutes straight, like that was nothing but video. Like if the video was like 6 minutes long, for 4 minutes straight, it was just literally that, right? At least that's what the guy said on the internet. And I'm just like, that's crazy for someone to, like, how, like, the guy literally said, like, the video itself was so bad, it was like so sad. Like at the same time, like it stopped being like a sense of like, oh, about to love this video, like to a point where it was just like, oh my god, this guy just had like a shit life. Like he just lost his mom, and this mom is like basically trying to like tell him like everything's gonna be okay. Like it's a whole sad story. Like they couldn't have used like a basic ass plot like that. That looked like someone was projecting. Like whoever scripted this shit was projecting OD hard. So yeah. So yeah, that's all I want to say. So this is gonna be the end for episode 5 for Skank Planet. Thank you guys so much for listening. Bye. Mwah.